Well, a very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH286, Patricia and David, and our glorious weather in New Zealand continues today. Has continued. It's almost evening, I suppose. 14 degrees. I know that's not very high, but 14 degrees is very, very lovely when it's accompanied by absolutely no wind and no clouds, and that's what we've got at the moment. The bar is down to 1027.6, so it's just a slow, steady decline as this lovely big high moves away. I tell you what, it's we're getting the better of the weather, looking at what South Australia is getting. So, yep, we are enjoying it. And I went on the AIS at lunchtime today just to check that Alula had gone and found that quite a few boats have left. Alula, Kauri, Rubicon and Narida have left North Minerva, so I'll pick some of those up shortly. But we have a new weather record. You know, this is a year of all sorts of records, what with the Olympics on and all sorts of other sporting events. Well, 135 years ago in Wellington, because that's probably the only place that they measured these sorts of things, 135 years ago, the high in New Zealand, 1889 that was 1045.9, and this latest one that has been bringing all the delightful weather to New Zealand in Canterbury was 1046.5. So there we are, a new record for New Zealand in terms of anticyclones. Now, just a little bit of news before we head on. Those of you going to Tonga and those of you with Starlink, Starlink have been advised by Tonga government to disable the services to Tonga. Now, I have no idea why that is, given that without Starlink, particularly in the last couple of years when they have had all sorts of disconnections due to natural phenomena on the submarine cable, and more recently they've had, I think, 3 in the last couple of weeks with their own service going out. But anyway, they have been told to disable the service to Tonga. So please be aware of that if you're heading to Tonga. So far, this was all meant to happen yesterday, but so far I believe that it is still going strong. A friend in Queensland told me or sent me an update from the Matangi Tonga Online News. I didn't know Ashley got that, but anyway, that's a very lengthy article, and a lot of people are complaining because a lot of the resorts rely on this to know when people are coming, going, and so on and so forth, and it has been pretty bad service with the local ones. I guess the local leaders of the phone system must have a connection to the Tongan government to have managed that. But anyway, that's what's holding things up there. Now, if you've got money to spend and you want to have one of the new folding flipping phones, Samsung have just released, in fact they will be available at the end of this month, a Fold 6 device and a Flip 6 device. Now, you will need quite a bit of money. The Fold 6 device, and this is evidently the latest things in phones, they're not as robust as your other phone that you can put a case around, so that's a little bit of a problem, particularly when you spend $3,299 for your 256 gigabytes for your Galaxy Z Fold 6. But if you want the flip phone, that's a mere $2,299, and you get 512 gigabytes again. So there you are. Save up your pennies while you're away. You can't go shopping in CBDs and so on, but you can save your money for a flip phone or a fold phone. Okay, let's move on to where the boats are. They took off today, and I shall start with the Fiji-bound boats, or boat actually, Alula with Kauri beside them. Alula, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Alula. How copy?
Yeah, good copy, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Patricia, our location, is 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
location is 23 degrees 15 south, 176 degrees 49 west. Our heading is 340 degrees true at a speed of 5.5 knots. The wind would be about 18 knots from the southeast with 80% cloud cover. The seas, I would say, only about 1.5 to 2 meters, also southeast, and our bar is 1010, over.
Okay, we have Alula along with Kauri not far away at 2315 south, 17649 west on a course of 340 true, 5.5. They're heading to Vunda. I'm not sure about Kauri, but I know Alula, Jimmy and Gemma are heading to Vunda. 18 knots from the southeast, so that's going to move them along quite smartly. 80% cloud cover, 1.5 to 2 meter swell from the southeast, and 1010. So yeah, well, you're certainly going to get there by Monday. It's looking good for you, over.
Yeah, hopefully Monday, potentially Tuesday morning if the wind doesn't keep up with us. It's quite pleasant out here. We thought the seas were going to be quite confused and quite a bit bigger than they were, but it's actually not too bad. So we're just plodding along and doing our best to get there, over.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. So we'll check in with you again tomorrow. But yes, you're. Don't think any weather has changed from what David said yesterday. He's doesn't seem to be wanting to grab the microphone. So we'll see what's happening tomorrow with you. So have a good night, you guys. After a good rest there, well, noisy rest with all that wind in Minerva. But yep, sounds nice, decent conditions. Thanks for that, Jimmy. And we'll go now to Rubicon Gulf Harbour.
Hey, Harbour, how copy Rubicon?
Yeah, you guys took off rather smartly. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, Rubicon is at 2316 south, 17828 west. We're staying a course of about 60-ish, and we're going at 5 to 6 knots depending on the wind. Wind speed is anywhere from 13 to 18 knots with occasional gusts to 20, and it is east southeast, so more easterly than south for sure. Sea state. When we first left, we had some pretty hefty swells, but they've diminished since then. One, maybe 1.5 at this point for the swell, and they too are out of the east. 100% cloud cover. How's that sound?
Well, not as good as our 0% cloud cover, but we'll put you at 2316 south, 17828 west on a course of about 060 true, between 5 and 6 knots, with the wind fluctuating a bit from 13 to 18, maybe gusting 20, from the east-southeast. Seas have sort of steadied a bit, now 1.5 metre from the east, and 100% cloud cover. So back on the ocean again, and it looks like everything is going okay. Over.
Roger that. Yeah, it's a little bit bumpy, but seems to be getting better as we go, okay?
Yep, I'm sure tomorrow will be a little bit smoother. All right, hello to Elizabeth as well, and we'll clear with you guys and go to Narida Gulf Harbour. Nothing heard from Narida. She's not too far behind you. I'm just going back to the AIS here just to see. Oh yes, she's a reasonable distance behind you. About halfway between you and Minerva. No, halfway between Rubicon and Minerva. All right, that's. Is there anybody else that is going somewhere, planning something, or wanting to make contact? Please call. Oh, there she is. Good evening, Jen. Go ahead, over.
Yeah, sorry, well, Rubicon are only 7 miles ahead of me, so I wasn't
the bells they're giving us here, I would say it's pretty rough. I would say the sound is easily 2.5 meters. It's a lot more than just 1.5. And they're quite slow, so it's been quite rough going. And the other thing to note is that the barometer is definitely steadily going down. It was 1,016 when we left Minerva just after around midday, and now it's down to 14.5. So it's dropping slowly but steadily. Over.
Yep, the old high is moving away, and you have got, I reckon, rougher seas, a bit more bouncy, up to 2.5 meters. So thanks for that. I think as the further you get away from the west there, that might ease up a bit. And the barometer is now 1014. And by the way, Trevor, you will probably know Trevor from Tony's Net. He's had a bit of a lift in his condition, and not so dire as it was yesterday. So all good news. It's crossing their fingers down there in Invercargill, but that sounds good. All right, Jan, stay safe for the night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Over.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, did you want?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, I've got just a few things to talk about. If I can get myself together here and get to the right screen. Hang on, folks. Okay, this is for all the boats in Minerva Reef. If you will recall my little talk about the weather yesterday and the day before, I told you about the low pressure system that has formed in the Tasman. Well, that is definitely moving east, and as it is that big high that set the record, that moves east too to get out of the way. A bit of a squash zone in between the two. Anyway, the point being is that on or about, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, that's the 20th of July, we are going to have a first-class frontal band, a cold front. It's going to run from New Zealand right up through Minerva and up to just to the west part of Fiji. It will hit Fiji a few hours later. So expect a fair amount of rain, quite a bit of wind. We'll have gale force winds out of the north. Gale force out of the north. Now, that's a long way out for the computer to be that exact, but we'll keep you up to date. Just look at it at the moment as an idea. Now, the other bit of news is for the folks that are heading for Tonga. You are also going to get this frontal band, but it's not going to hit Tonga Tatu until about Sunday, about a day later. It's seems to be moving fairly smartly. So your winds prior to the axis of the front are going to be north to northeast, and there is quite a bit of activity. There could be thunderstorms in this as well. So that's roughly Sunday for the Tonga Tatu area, and it will continue to go east, and it should hit the rest of Tonga as it goes through. So in other words, Hapais and Babao are going to get it as well. The tail end of it doesn't look to be too bad up in the Babao area if the models are correct. So that's what it looks like now. So that's what I wanted to let you know about. Now, after it goes through, there is another high that, well, the center of it is in not quite eastern Australia, and it's pretty weak at the moment in terms of forecasting pressure, about 1021, but it's ridging. It's got a very severe ridge to the east toward Minerva. So that is late on Sunday. So the winds in Minerva should go from those horrible northerlies to southwesterlies, and they are going to be fairly weak because the isobars are quite spread apart at this point. Now, models don't go past that. Well, they do, but I don't believe them. But my guess is going to be another high is going to spawn. So instead of being just the central part of or eastern part of Australia, we're going to see one pop up in the Tasman. I think that's what's going to happen. So that's the weather story. The Tuesday arrival in Fiji and Tonga still stands as far as I'm concerned. Folks going to Tonga are going to definitely see a wind shift to the northeast, and the same for the Tonga-bound boats. So those of you that have left for Tonga, I'm sure will be there before Tuesday, and so that's good. All right, that's it for me. And with that, unless there's any questions, here's the chief.
Yeah, I go.
Go ahead, Jan.
Yeah, sorry, David, thanks for that. You were talking about the Tonga-bound boats, which of course Ruben and I are, and northerlies are coming. I wasn't quite clear on when we can expect that. I mean, if we get in by Sunday, middle of the day, is that going to mean that we'll avoid that problem, or will the winds have shifted to the north as we're trying to get in, over?
No, Sunday is fine, Jan. Sunday it's still going to be southeast. Over.
Okay, thanks for that. That's a big relief. Thanks very much.
Yeah, now all this bad weather I'm talking about is the following Saturday and Sunday, not this one. Over.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, anybody else?
Harbour, master plan.
Oh, good evening to Master Plan. Now, where are you guys?
Good evening, Patricia and David. We departed from Samoa in Tonga today and are heading for Sabu, Fiji.
Okay, so Master Plan, escaping Tonga, and off to Savu. Okay, go ahead with your position, over.
We are at 18 degrees 34 south, 174 degrees 31 west. Our course over ground 270 magnetic, speed 7.5 knots. The wind is about 20 knots from the southeast, and the swell about 2 meters from the southeast as well. It's overcast here today, and I'm reading about 1012.
Okay, Master Plan. Boy, that's a good speed, isn't it? Mind you, you've got 20 knots of wind there, so yeah, that's a really good speed for Master Plan. On their way to Savu, 1834 and 17431 west, on a course of 270 magnetic and 20 knots of southeast wind and southeast swell, overcast 1012. And we take a lot of notice of Master Plan's speed and things because we too have a moody. Okay, Dean, sounds good.
What's the ETA?
Hang on. Oh, David wants to know your ETA, over.
We expect Savu about midday on Monday.
Okay, Savu Monday about midday, but we'll give that just a Monday. I think in my notes he's just having a look just to see what things are on, but you've probably had a look yourself, but here he is.
No, everything looks great for you, the whole trip, in fact. Yep, there's clouds about. There's no question about that. They're not coming from anything serious. They're just the typical low to mid-level cumulus. Sometimes they're stratus. Sometimes they're cumulus. There's bands of them. They're broken. So nothing to worry about from those. And your winds are going to stay steady all the way to Savu. And arriving on Monday, that's perfect planning. Over.
Thank you, David. That's good to know. And yes, you're right, Patricia. This is pretty good speed for us. We're just going down the swells and it's on a slight broad reach, and it's great.
Yeah, isn't it lovely when you get conditions like that that really suit the boat? So, all right, well, enjoy the evening. We were down at our boat today, actually, and got home to find that there was a message from the marina to say we had to redo our electric cord. God, this happens every year. It's a pain in the neck, being so frequent, especially when you're not using it. All right, clear with master plan. Is there anybody else? Okay, folks, have a very good evening, and we will be back again tomorrow. We look as if we're going to have another nice day, but then it's going to start turning, well, not so much to custard, but it will be actually a little bit warmer, but we won't have these lovely blue, calm skies that we have got to enjoy. Cheers all, and this is Gulf Harbour Radio Clear.